Okay. Nolan, I think first of all we want to find out why you're in our nice warm Twin Cities at this particular time.
Well, I'm in town to talk about weekend athletes. There's 20 million of them, and they sustain 3 times as many injuries as people that play organized sports. And it's with spring around the corner, people are going to start thinking about getting active on the weekends again when the weather changes. And we have a pamphlet out that's sponsored by the Beef Council, and it's an exercise and diet pamphlet that they can send in for. It's free, and it has a lot of good tips and recipes in it.
What are some tips you might give the weekend athlete? We'll try to get a little bit of a preview.
Well, it's important, I think, now that if they anticipate being active, that they start doing something and do it gradual, whether it be walking or riding a bicycle or exercising in their house while the weather's bad. They can do abdominal exercises, they can do step-ups, walk stairs, or ride a stationary bike, or there's a lot of things that you can do that will help you when you do get out on the weekend.
If you just kind of square in a little bit. Nolan, the baseball season, the new season is just about upon us. Of course, around here we're still a little bit dizzy about what happened last season. Did that surprise you what the Twins did?
Well, my attitude is anytime that you can win your division, then you certainly have a good shot at playing in the World Series, because in a short series like that, anything can happen, and people can pitching can come together and be good, and that's all it takes. Or you can have 1 or 2 players that have an outstanding series, and that'll be enough to get you over the hump.
Of course, you know Andy McPhail dating back a little ways.
Right. Andy was assistant general manager with the Astros for several years when I was there, and in fact he left our organization to take the position that he has now.
He's done a good job here. I think he's gained the confidence of the fans and the players.
Oh, I think so. I think that independent race last year, he went out and tried to strengthen his ball club, and I think he did, and I think it has shown in his attitude this winter in trying to strengthen his ball club, because it's always hard to repeat.
Nolan, as I understand it, you're in your 21st season, about to go into it. You're 41 now. Your fastball still humming along. How do you account for that you're able to have that much velocity after so many years and so many games and so many pitches?
Well, I think that it was first it was God-gifted talent, and then I think concentrating on mechanics and on conditioning and proper nutrition and my diet. I think all these are certainly factors.
As the years have gone by, who are some of the hitters, despite that great fastball, that you don't like them to dig into that batter's box?
Well, it varied from year to year. When I was first in the National League, I got to face a lot of great hitters like Clemente and Stargell and McCovey and Mays and Aaron. And then in the American League, I saw here with Minnesota, Killebrew, Oliva, Carew, George Brett. And now back in the National League, I think Tony Gwynn's as good a hitter as I've ever faced.
What do you call a good hitter? I mean, can you tell them these guys really know what they're doing up there?
Well, a good hitter is a hitter that hits your pitch. There's a lot of hitters that have certain pitches they hit well, but if you make your pitch on them, they don't really hit the ball well. But those real good hitters are the kind of guys that adjust to your pitching, and they hit the ball where you throw it.
Of course, all these years you couldn't have lasted solely with a fastball. You depend on what other pitches.
Well, I basically am a 3-pitch pitcher: fastball, curveball, and changeup, and I basically throw the same ratio of those pitches that I did 10 or 15 years ago.
How long do you think you can go?
Well, I take each year as it comes along. I would like to think that I could play a couple more years, but at the end of the '88 season, I'll evaluate how I feel and how things went, and make a decision.
Do you think too much, although you're a heat thrower, do you think too much emphasis is put these days on how you can light up that timing gun? Are we forgetting about the guys like Whitey Ford and people like that who didn't have the great fastball?
Well, I think we're seeing a trend where there's less hard throwers in the game, and I think the young pitchers coming up are probably more advanced in their pitching skills. I think maybe they don't develop their fastball as much as, say, a group 15, 20 years ago did, but overall they're better pitchers.
Can we get some kind of a prediction from you on the National American League races?
Well, I think that in the American League East, it's going to be another dogfight with, I think, Toronto definitely be in there. I think that the Yankees are going to be tough. Detroit has a good ball club, and Boston's always tough. I think over here the West is always a close race, but I have to feel like that Minnesota's a favorite. In the National League, I think the West is a toss-up. I think with the Giants definitely are the favorites, and I think over in the East, I kind of like the Mets' chances. I think that St. Louis, without Jack Clark, aren't going to quite be the same ball club.
Are the hitters? How do they compare today with when we first broke in?
Oh, I think that the quality of the hitters is just as good. I think maybe when I first broke in and there weren't as many ball clubs, maybe some ball clubs had more strength through their lineups, but I think there's just as many outstanding hitters now in the game as there were.
What would you tell a youngster sitting out there who wants to become a pitcher? What does he do to get himself ready?
Well, I think that first he needs to have proper mechanics, and he needs to make sure that he's in the best shape he possibly can be. And I think if you're in good shape, then you have less chance of injuring yourself. You're going to have more stamina, and you're going to perform better.
Speaking of mechanics, describe what you go through. The catcher throws the ball back to Nolan Ryan. What is your pattern? What do you do?
Well, having proper mechanics starts with your first move on the mound. So when you rock back on your back foot, that's the start of your whole action, and you have to stay within control of yourself. And a lot of young pitchers have a tendency to want to rush, and their bodies open up too soon, and they lose a lot of their thrust towards the mound, and towards home plate, and they end up falling off the mound, and their arm ends up dragging.
And stride has something to do with it.
Well, yeah, stride, but stride depends on the build of the player, and there's certain pitchers that are going to have longer strides than others just because of their physical makeup.
Good.